our second home. We come to conquer, no, we never walk alone. We dominate, the cream of the crop, drawing all our strength from the roar of the cock. It's all for one, and one for all. Pass a new, we're talking total football. Here we go again, Roy's red machine. Liverpool, the greatest team the world has ever seen.
Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. Been a great couple of weeks for the Reds. Got a couple of games to go over. I'm going to look ahead to the Newcastle game. So joined by Craig and Jay today. So how are we doing, lads?
Yeah, I'm good.
All good.
Good stuff, good stuff. So going to start by sort of talking about the Milan game again. So Jay was lucky enough to get over there and get in the San Siro and that. So, I mean, must have been a great experience for you, lad. I mean, San Siro is one of them iconic stadiums in world football that is not going to be here for much longer.
Yeah, do you know what? I've been loads of places around Europe. I've never been in all of a stadium, but the walk up to that was something else. It looks like it's mad. You get emotional walking up to it. It's nuts. I can't explain it. When you see it all lit up and that, and you're walking in like, I think there's about 500 of us all stuck together, and you're just walking in like a column, all singing, and you see the lights. It's unbelievable. It's fucking mad. The facilities inside is shit. There isn't even a concourse. Couldn't get a bevy or anything. You could get one bevy from one end of the ground, but it wasn't about that. We took it easy on the day, so we could take it in. You know what I'm like? Usually I'll get absolutely sozzled and don't even remember the match. But no, we took it all in, like, and it's the most cold ground I've ever been in my life. But the Reds had us bouncing eventually, so it was great to beat them in their own ground, and it resulted in them going out and us obviously winning 6 out of 6.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great performance, and like you say, even on the telly, it looks like a great stadium. So it must have been just unbelievable to be inside. I mean, the game itself, I don't think it ever really looked like we were in danger of losing the game, even when they went ahead. I think it was still quite comfortable for us. What did you make of it, Craig?
Yeah, it was just pretty straightforward. It was nice to see a few of the, like, obviously Tyler Morton got a start as well, didn't he? So it was nice to see him getting a Champions League start, and I think he done well. As you said, it looked pretty comfortable from the way that, like, from obviously the first whistle, and even though they went ahead, we still looked like we were going to control the game, and come the end result, we still got the win.
Yeah, I think it helps that their keeper isn't nearly as good as Donnarumma, who they let go. Both goals were his fault. They were both preventable, and it worked in our favour, so not ours. Like, but no, it was great to see Tyler Morton get the full 90. I think he got, didn't he?
Yeah, he got 90. Yeah,
he's looking better and better each game.
Well,
say again.
Nico Williams had a great game. Phillips, Oxlade-Chamberlain absolutely run the midfield. Superb again. It was great in hindsight now, seeing them score, how their fans react when they score. There's like plastic windows around the ground, and when they scored, they were all jumping over the seats to get to them, to get close to the players. It was boss-like to see. They played that same song over and over again. Some dickheads with a drum and a fucking microphone non-stop all the way through it. But yeah, it was great to see them do what they do, and then obviously see us do what we do. But the game was controlled all the way through it. It was in spells, it was like a training game. I couldn't believe they're top of their league.
It's mad, isn't it?
Their football's absolute shite. So bring on your international, you know.
I know. I think they just want to point ahead, haven't they? They're the top of the league, isn't they? Yeah. So, but obviously they're not playing as well this season either as they have in recent seasons. They haven't got as many people who you've really feared in the team. Whereas Lukaku was on form for them, wasn't he, when he played for them? Obviously, he went to Chelsea and dropped out of form again. But it's one of them. We don't really fear anyone in Europe at the minute. The only team that I can see us having a good game against is Bayern. Really.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, Inter aren't the same Inter that they were last season. They've lost the two biggest assets in Conte and Lukaku. So really, if we control the game as we have done every game in the Champions League this season, then it should be fairly straightforward for us. And like you say, I think the only team that's going to give us a game right now is Bayern. I think people will say PSG. But again, their defensively, they don't have to be great because of what their league is.
Over 2 legs and that, you can't see any team beating us really over 2 legs, coming to Anfield the second leg as well. Can't see anyone beating us in Europe.
I'd rather get Munich over in the final. if that's been my one wish. If we can get Bayern Munich or Atletico over 2 legs instead of the final, then I'll be happy with it. And the one team I'd want to avoid is Atletico in the final because they're absolutely disgusting. But I'm not scared of anyone. PSG, I think we put 10 past them in the 2-leg game, but we will concede.
Yeah, that's it. Defensively, they're not great. They don't have to be because of how weak the French league is. But going forward, you can't deny the talent of, Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. Even if he hasn't really done much in the French league, but it's still fucking Messi, innit?
It's when they don't turn up often enough, I don't think.
I think it's funny the way Man City are favourites to win it. It's mad, isn't it? Every year they're favourites to win it.
They've been to one final and the favourites
never won
every year.
I know. A team who's never won it's a favourite to win it every year.
They got as much chance as fucking Tottenham.
It's bizarre.
It's mad.
Fucking bizarre. They just haven't got that pedigree to get over the line, and long may that continue because my stomach was fucking turning when they got the final last year. I
I hate them.
And it was a catch-22 because I'm not the biggest fan of Chelsea. Out the two evils, I don't ever want to see them cunts win the European Cup because it is bought. Now I know Chelsea have bought it, but in recent years it's been a bit less, hasn't it?
Yeah,
they've got past that Abramovich stage where they controlled football and they've had to get with the times a little bit more and approach FIFA fair play a bit better. And seeing them beat them in the finals made up. I honestly was fucking made up.
Got a good manager as well now, haven't they? As well, and Tuchel is a very good manager.
Brilliant manager, likeable. That's it. He's given them an identity now, Chelsea, and I think Man City, as good as a football side they are, I just can't relate to them. The fans, they can't sell the ground out. The fucking tickets on Groupon for big Champions League games and that. And they're still putting down in the finances that they're selling out every week, and they're getting away with it. Knocks me sick.
They were giving them away, weren't they, in the Arndale Centre for the one of the games last season? Was it last season or was it this season? I don't know. It was one of them. Yeah, this season in the Arndale, weren't they?
They're a joke.
Yeah,
they're a joke of a football club. But it's sad because their fans you were brilliant fans when they were shit, and now they're entitled and they've got all the tourists. I think the tourists have pushed the proper fans out. So it could nearly happen with us after Istanbul. We had a lot of proper local Liverpool fans spewing it because Thomas Cook packages and all that in the ground, but we've sort of rallied together with the spirit of Shankly and got our identity back again.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? Like you say, it'll probably happen with Newcastle over the next few years with all the money they've got. And we'll get to them shortly. But, they're going to make a few signings in January.
Like that picture that went round, and it's saying about the Chelsea fan who had a City, he's changed to a City shirt now. He's going to have to go and buy a Newcastle shirt and that. It's like
have a little collection.
Yeah, it's mad.
No, it is. That's what. Unfortunately, that's what type of fans that get bred these days. It's glory hunting fans, and as I say, Newcastle are going to get loads of them. But if there's one set of fans in England apart from us who are going to make sure that doesn't happen, it's Newcastle fans, because you'll just get that fucking overweight fella who never puts a top on, and he'll just fucking knock them all out. He'll start scrapping and everything. Fucking mad bastards. But say we'll get to Newcastle in a little bit. But yeah, it was great to finish the Champions League with 6 wins out of 6. Kanate, want to mention him as well. Don't think any of us mentioned him. He was unbelievable. I know Zlatan's 40, but it's still Zlatan. You've still got to be on top of your game with him, and he absolutely bullied him all game to the point where Zlatan got sick of him and fucking threw him to the floor.
Well, he asked for the shirt at the end, didn't he, as well? He said because he played that well against me. Zlatan went over to him and said I wanted to ask him for the shirt and all that.
Yeah.
And it was thing I was saying, and he deserved it for being a 21-year-old lad who's come to obviously a big club like Liverpool from where he has, and he hasn't even, he's just hit the ground running, and he hasn't looked back. He
just looks so good though. He looks solid, and he looks so mature at the back. Like, must have been hard playing with like Phillips, who hasn't played a lot of games, and having to like learn off him whilst learning him. But I thought they paired them together. I'd be happy to see that again, to be honest, in any game. Thought they were fucking brilliant. Phillips, that little Christ in our box, mate. What he was fucking thinking, why that would cross your mind to do that when you've got 2 players running like you, and he ghosted the pair of them, made them look stupid. Fucking brilliant.
Because he's the Bolton Brazy lad, that's what he does.
And the rumours today, he's meant to have told Sky that he's ready for a move, hasn't he? Which is disappointing.
Yeah, but have you actually read the quotes? I read it last night. So what he said basically is he spoke to Jürgen, and they both agree that he needs to be playing more football. So if the right offer comes in, Liverpool aren't going to stand in his way. But he's happy at Liverpool still. He's happy learning off the likes of Van Dijk, Konate, Gomez, Matip. He's happy with that because he's saying, if I'm holding my own against the best strikers in the world as well, playing with Mo and Mane and all that, if he's holding his own there, that stands him in good stead. So if the right offer comes along and it suits both parties, him and Liverpool, he'll be interested. But if he stays, he wouldn't be upset. He wouldn't be kicking up a fuss. He's happy to stay at Liverpool as well. So Sky have made a sort of headline out of it saying, nah, Phillips wants to leave, when really it's like he's open to it, but not too fussed if he doesn't, kind of thing.
I think the fees are only something like 10 million are looking for him as well, aren't they? Something like that. But I think it's stupid, really, especially seeing what he done for us last season when we have Van Dijk out and Matip out, and obviously in the games that he comes in, you don't really see him having a bad game ever. I don't think I've ever seen him have a bad game for Liverpool.
No.
So
he's just no nonsense,
it's a bit of an insult really for him, really, to be saying
he's improving on the ball as well, isn't he? He's improving as a footballer. Not like when he first came in, he was a Jamie Carragher, a John Terry. He was a fucking yard dog. He was just getting rid of the ball, hit it if you had to, win the headers, do all the donkey work, but in a good way. But he's looking a lot better on the ball, looking more confident. He's creating fucking Abramovich. He's
only 26 or something as well, and he's something like 26.
Not even nice. I think he's only like 24.
Is he 24? That's what I mean. He's still young. It's one of them. It could be one of them mistakes in the future that you regret doing. Like looking at me, I'd really look at a bigger picture and say Gomez, he's more injury prone. He sort of will get us more money in the transfer market. Do you know what I mean? And then the likes of Phillips will get more game time, and then come on as a player, being alongside the likes of Konate, Van Dijk, Matip. Yeah. So that's just my view on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a no-brainer if you're getting rid of one of the two. Now, don't get me wrong. If Phillips just said to Klopp, what's it looking like game time? He's like, as it is, the odd Champions League game, the odd Carabao Cup, the odd Premier League, and he wants more, then you can understand that. But Gomez is going to be the same.
Yeah.
So you could effectively lose both of them, but you're going to lose one out of the two. I'd rather let Gomez go.
I think where Gomez has probably got the edge over him is if we lose Trent, Gomez can slot in at right back and do a good job. Not obviously as good as Trent, but that's where he's got the edge over him. Klopp.
We've got Nico as well, haven't we?
We have
Williams.
We have got him. But you know what Klopp's like? He likes players who are versatile. He likes players who can play in multiple positions.
Gomez.
Say again.
There's our dog kicking off.
That's fine. Go on, who'd you rather play right back, did you say?
I'd rather have Milner right back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the way our fullbacks work, I don't think it's the right thing to do anymore. I'm asking a 35, 36-year-old Milner
back now. Carry on.
To play fucking right back. He's going to be good defensively at right back, but he's not going to have the same effect going forward. And I think Gomez has got the pace, which, like Jay said before himself, that kind of does get him out of jail quite a bit when he plays. But if you put him at right back, he's got the pace. If he can work on the delivery a bit, I think he's a good deputy, to be honest. And then he can also come in at centre back. As I say, Klopp likes that versatility in players. Yeah,
plus obviously Milner's age comes into a factor as well. You're not going to have Milner around forever. Could be one of his last seasons at Liverpool, really. Depending on, obviously, if the right offer comes. I can see him going back to Leeds, but he's talking about a coaching role at Liverpool, isn't he? But he's been offered a coaching role or something at Liverpool once he finishes his contract. But, oh, lad. But yeah, obviously we've got a few for right back. Obviously Gomez is a shout and his pace is more of a convincing argument to Klopp than probably Nat Phillips, because you need pace in the Premier League really for the strikers that are in it. So yeah, it's obviously it's one of them situations you don't know. Yeah. Only Klopp knows, doesn't he?
I think it'd be a shame to lose either one of them, to be honest with you. But I can understand if either of them does want to go. It's clear that the main three centre backs are Van Dijk, Matip, and Konate. So do they really want to be fighting out for fourth and fifth choice centre back? It's a bit of a weird position to be in, I suppose.
Yeah,
the same with a rig, though, isn't it? It's the same with a rig as a striker. You need someone who's willing to do that role, to sit there and wait for the chance. And think out the truth, Phillips is more accustomed to do that.
Yeah,
Gomez is going to kick up a fuss soon, I think, because he thinks he's entitled because he's been there. He's played in the Premier League winning side. That was a brilliant defence with Van Dijk. So out the two.
But Matip was a big part in that as well, weren't he?
Yeah.
Matip was I'm even seeing him against Villa when just some of the runs he makes in that. Well, what you think a defender shouldn't be making, central defender shouldn't be making them runs, and he just goes, doesn't he, and just doesn't stop. He just until he's at the edge of the box.
I was shouting, "Oh, it's Alan Hansen, that's just Alan Hansen." Like it's Matip, but I know what he means. Like, no, again, Matt. I've said many times this season, Matip's been right up there with Van Dijk this year.
Yeah,
I think he's arguably been better than him, to be honest with you. I think he's been more consistent than Van Dijk. Van Dijk has had probably more. It's a weird one. Van Dijk's probably been better in a lot of games, but I think consistently Matip's just been great every game, whereas Van Dijk's had a few little wobbles here and there, and I don't think Matip has.
I was going to say it's mad that you've got two defenders, like big, strong defenders who are brilliant defenders, but the two different like things when they're going forward. Van Dijk likes to spread the ball over to Salah and that, and then you've got Matip who can just run right the way through the whole of the team. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, look at Van Dijk's ball against Wolves. That wins us the game. He plays that ball. He sees Salah. Don't get me wrong. Salah's touch to get into the box and give it to Divock. But getting their massive 3 points, and that's as a team combined, and that's what they offer. They all offer different things. But say Matip defensively, I don't think there's been a better player in the league. And if there is, it's only Van Dijk.
And on a free, we got him on a free as well, didn't we? It's just
outrageous. We talk about Milner. Milner as being a marvellous free, and he's outrageous, but I think week in, week out, at the minute, Matip's just on a different level than anyone.
I couldn't believe it as well. I thought he was older than what he was. Do you know, when you look at him, he looks like, I think he's only about 27 or something, and he's not old for the
centre-back, especially.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Young, but there's even rumours now, because Samuel Eto'o's now the head of the Cameroon FA, that he's going to come out of retirement and we're going to lose him as well in January. So
he said he's not going to do it for this. Klopp said no. Klopp already said he's not going for this one. He might do, but
to be honest, that's getting spewed anyway, isn't it?
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Have you seen the thing people are tweeting? There won't be more in Africa. Hopefully, lads. Hopefully,
fingers crossed. But I mean, the African federation or whatever, they're adamant that it's still going ahead, aren't they? So
I think we've got enough cover to see us through. It's only a few games in it, do you know what I mean? And the only one game that you probably worry about is Chelsea away. Yeah. If you look at the fixtures where they could be going, but like you look at it, Harvey Elliott's meant to be back in the new year and stuff, and Firmino will be back. Minamino. That's what I mean. You've got Minamino. Jota's still going to be there. Origi. Yeah. You've got enough cover. And in the midfield, you're only losing Keita, but you lose him after season anyway. So it's not really any different, is it? Do you know what I mean? A few games.
But I think what people are forgetting as well
is they're not going for the first 2 games or something.
Oh, so we'll have them for Chelsea then.
For like 2 weeks to train and that, and we've agreed to keep them and put them on a programme or something that they'll be doing over there. So they'll be well in. So
I still can't see it going ahead though myself.
I can't. I really can't, especially.
I hope it does. And it sounds stupid, but if that doesn't go ahead, then other things aren't going to go ahead.
Yeah, no.
They'll stop travel, they'll stop fans and all that. So I hope for the good of football, it does fucking go ahead and everything stays the same, because I'm fucking sick of these. I was coming to a standstill now.
I was reading before that France are banning arrivals from the UK as of, I think it was Tuesday or something like that. So it's already fucking beginning again, lad, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying about that side of things, but obviously from a purely selfish Liverpool point of view, I hope it doesn't go ahead so that we keep our best players. But I think what people are forgetting as well with that is Chelsea will lose Mendy, who is so important to the way they play. He's been brilliant for them. And I think they've got Kepa to come in, which is a lot worse than having us needing to bring in Firmino or Harvey Elliott or Origi, you know what I mean? So I think their loss is actually bigger in a way than ours.
You look at it when we beat Barcelona without Mo Salah, do you know what I mean? You can beat teams without certain players and that. It's not like we're missing half the team. We're only missing Mane and Salah, and it's only really Salah's goals we're missing in the game. And you've got the likes of Firmino and Jota still on the pitch, and Origi who's going to get you. There's enough players. We've got
I agree.
Good enough.
And you've got some good youngsters coming through as well, who could come in if need be. Katie Gordon.
Obviously, Curtis Jones as well. Coming back from injury. So when you lose Keita, you're going to obviously gain from having Jones back in the team and back on the squad. And the midfield three is not going to change in Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago. So you can see it the last however many games.
Not as bad as people are making out, is it? No way near.
No.
And especially with the way the squad's playing at the minute, Minamino's come in, done his bit. Origi's done more than his bit. Brilliant.
It's the media that hypes it all up that we're going to be, I don't know, drastically losing players and we're going to struggle, but it's not going to be like that.
I think Klopp likes that side of it.
Yeah.
I think Klopp will love Klopp be saying, just send that link to Minamino, send that link to Origi and Jota. Yeah, this is what they're saying about you. We're
loves proving people wrong.
Yeah, we'll be fucking sound, mate.
I can't even believe they're bringing Keita into the actual conversation about we're going to miss this trio because it's really, we're only going to miss the two of them and we're not going to miss them that bad, really. You know what I mean? It's not going to be as bad.
Keita's going to go down as one of them signings that we're never going to see the full potential of him. And it's going to be one of the biggest shames, I think, that we've had in recent years, especially under Klopp. It's kind of feel sorry for him a bit in a way.
Especially when he come in after to fill the number 8 share, you know what I mean? He got the number 8 share, paid 50 million for him, and it just doesn't.
What's dead annoying about him now is when he actually does get a run of games, he's brilliant.
Yeah. It's just he's too injury prone, and them little knocks they make him a little knock on other players. It'd be just a little knock. To him, it's a few games.
Do you think it's like in his head, sort of what people used to say about Sturridge?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, because now Sturridge apparently he's been doing obviously not getting as injured as much as he he's been playing and that, but. It could be in his head, and just hope he turns a corner. And
I think some players are psychologically affected by it, though. And I remember Gerrard saying about Sturridge, and he said when he got a knock before the United game, and he had to corner him and say, "Listen, we haven't got him to striker. There's you and Louis. We need you to play." And he ended up playing. He scored in the second minute. We won 1-0. He said, but Suarez, on the other hand, would be staying behind and hiding from the physios, because he'd have all swelling all over his legs and he wouldn't want him to see it because he wants to play the next week. Yeah. So just different mindsets. Yeah. Some players are willing to get it to play, and some players are petrified it's going to be career ending.
I think it's probably something like about the way they've started the careers as well. Like you compare Sturridge to Suarez. Sturridge was at Coventry, then went to City. He was touted as the next big thing from the word go from his career, whereas Suarez has had to go from Danubio in Uruguay to Groningen in Holland to Ajax. He's had to work his way up to get to the top kind of thing, whereas Sturridge has kind of always been there.
If you think of Sturridge like Coventry, Chelsea, Bolton, all them,
Man City,
way up still. But
he probably hasn't to work as hard to get where he was.
Just Suarez, as you've seen, he'd fucking butt you in the face to win a throw-in. That's the type of player. He's a hardy street footballer. And I think the young, I think Sturridge is of that age where coming up, they're still giving everything, even as kids. And when they do make it, they expect. Jordan Ibe was the same. You know what I mean? We expected him to be the next Sterling. He got a contract and he went to shit. I don't think Sturridge was like that. I just think when you haven't got to work as hard for it, as to say.
I think with Ibe, though, there was obviously other things going on. He's obviously opened up about like his mental health struggles and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if he's even still on the books at Derby, to be honest with you. I don't know if he was, but I don't know if he's still there.
You look at now as well with like Harvey Elliott and that, they've been hyped up by everyone as being the next big thing and that, and it's even down to kids now. Have you seen that young kid on the internet going around who's only about 7 or 8, and apparently he's Liverpool's next Messi? Do you know what I mean? But like the pressure that puts on a kid of that age, obviously now he's got to start. Obviously he's got to do the business to prove it, and it puts a lot of pressure on him. And Harvey Elliott, I think, getting injured as well probably might knock his confidence a bit, but he's not going to be as. But he's only young, isn't he? So he can still
down to earth as well, though, isn't he, Harvey Elliott?
Yeah, he is.
Seen a video with him, and they were asking him like, "What's your best designer clothes?" And he's like, "I don't really. I have to spend money elsewhere." He just hasn't got that approach about things.
Seems like a good kid, anyway.
It's like when Madrid come in for him, didn't they? Something always trying to get him to sign for him, saying, "Do you want to come and meet Sergio Ramos and all that?" And he turned him down. He said no because he injured Salah last year in the final and that. Do you know what I mean? And
he had his heart set on Liverpool, and that was it.
He's a Liverpool fan, and he's always been a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, he's a Liverpool fan.
This is Anfield, so I think I love all that, mate. But again, like sentiments out the window. He's an absolutely brilliant footballer. So as the years go on and he develops, he's going to be world class.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. So let's talk a bit about. Let's move on a little bit now. Talk about the Villa game. Obviously, you were both there. Now, Jay, I know you were saying that they were fucking vile and they were horrible to watch.
That close to doing Gerrard, lad. I was absolutely one of the worst football teams I've ever seen come to Anfield. Absolutely horrible. From the 45th second, their keeper was wasting time.
Oh, he's horrible, that man.
I've never seen anything like it. Gerrard said to them, get in their heads, infuriate them, frustrate them, and they'll turn and they'll start getting fucking angry. And don't get me wrong, as a manager, he's got to do that, but I expected a lot better. I thought he was going to put himself in the shop window a little bit and show us a bit of football. They were fucking chronic, mate, honestly. Absolutely chronic.
It surprised me, to be honest, because you looked at them, I mean, obviously it's a bit different at Rangers, but you look at them at Rangers, he always tried to play football. You know, the games against this season when he's come to Villa, he tried to play football. I think the only one probably where he didn't again was City. So I think he's obviously I think he's just sort of doing damage limitations sort of thing. Let's go, frustrate them, as you say, and hopefully get a draw, or if not, we'll lose by the 1 goal, which I think they did in both games. They only lost by the 1 goal. So I think he's just, until he can get his players in, get his style properly, I think that's how he's going to approach the team. He knows it a lot better than them.
You look at his string of results, he's got all wins apart from the 2 losses against us and City, and both things. Obviously, City, I see in the game he played against City, and they actually played a bit of football and actually looked like a team he wants to play. But as Jay said, when he comes to Anfield, did it last week, it was horrible watching them. It was just looked like it was a horrible team to watch in that. And yeah, they were just time wasting from minute one, and it was horrible. But I'm just glad we eventually got the penalty to get the win, really. It didn't look like it was going to come any other way.
No.
I remember my dad taking me the match on the day 9/11, and we played Boa Vista at Anfield, and my dad still say Boa Vista for me dad, and he goes, fucking horrible them Portuguese bastards, because that's what they were like, diving from the first minute all over the floor trying to get us booked. They were fucking horrible, and that's what I said to my dad. That reminds me of them. And so I think Gerrard has gone way over the top in his, like, not disrespect for Liverpool, but as if, you know, Villa are the big thing. Could have just said, yeah, I love Liverpool, but I'm at Villa now, and until anything else happens, then forget about it. But if I'm down the M6 and I've upset all the fans, I'm not asked. At the end of the game, like we deserved to draw. They got a penalty. We should have had a penalty.
Yeah, he was calling for it, wasn't he?
Stupid, mate. You sound stupid. You're trying too hard to get him in. Them same Villa fans are singing "Feed the Scousers." You know what I mean? And he stood there on their line, and then he goes and claps them at the end. And I didn't see him clap us, to be honest with you.
No, he just literally put one little hand up. That was it.
I was annoyed. We sang his name at the end of the game, and he turned his back on the cop and went towards their fans. They're his fans, but when they're singing "Feed the Scousers" and all that, and he stood there, I'd have came out after the game and said, I'd appreciate if you fucking don't sing that, because that's where I'm from, you cheeky, brummy bastards, 6-fingered twats.
I think we were even singing it through the game as well, weren't we? When he walked out, we started singing it. He done one little hand thing again, but he was like, obviously, you know, he loves Liverpool and that, but he should have showed it a bit after the game. The game's done now, do you know what I mean? He should have showed it a little bit to the appreciation for what we tried.
I think it's obviously, it must be, his head was probably all over the place. He's probably never thought to himself in his career, managerial or player, that he would ever have to go to Anfield as an opposition. And I just don't think he's really known how to handle it. So I think he's gone, like Jay said, he's gone a bit too far on the Villa side of things. And to be honest, his comment saying, if I'm going down the M6 with 3 points and I've lost a few fans on the cop, then so be it. I don't mind that, because you want a manager who wants to win every game. That's what it is. So I don't mind that comment, but I get what you're saying. Sort of very little acknowledgement of the fans in the ground and stuff like that was a bit weird. I think you're seeing it with Vieira going back to the Emirates this season. He was very different. He was practically, well, I think he applauded the whole stadium, which that's all it takes. It's a little 10 seconds to applaud every side of the stadium, and that's all it was, and then no one would have a problem. I think he's probably come to Anfield with the mindset of I'm I'm a former Liverpool player. I don't want to come here and get embarrassed. I don't want my team to go out and get beat 5 or 6-0, which, let's be honest, the form we're in could have easily happened against anyone. So I think he's just thought, I'm not going there to get embarrassed.
They're a decent side, though. And the likes of where we've struggled this year is fast players getting them behind. You've got the likes of Ollie Watkins and that playing there. And he hasn't even... Lad, there was a time where they had 3 attacks and we made 3 mistakes defensively, where the keepers made a mistake. They clattered into each other. They didn't press us. They knew that was happening. Every time they come in near our box, we made a mistake. They didn't press the ball. They wasn't interested in going towards our goal till the last 5 minutes. And again, you can say defensively, park the bus, whatever. Ask them for yellow cards, diving around the floor, rolling back onto the pitch when you've gone off the pitch, so you to wasting time from the first minute. That's tactical. That's his decision. That's he's made them. He's asking them to do that, and I don't think he's going to go very far if he continues it.
If they would play the way they played in the last few games that they played under him since he come in, he probably would have got a draw out the game. Or he could, do you know what I mean? He could have even a chance to beat us because we were off our game. That, like, we had the chances, couldn't put them away. We had a few where you think, how have you missed them? Even the 1-on-1, the 3-on-1 chance in that, and you think you've just obviously wrecked your chance in that. But even the keeper and that, even when it comes to Salah's penalty, he does it all the time. Tries to put the player off and that, doesn't he? But I hate him, me. He's a good keeper, but I just hate him.
I loved Henderson though. Henderson pushed Salah to the back of the little...
Yeah, behind everyone.
Stood in front of the keeper. But I love that from our fans as well. He sang Gerrard's name. He didn't really acknowledge us, and he started singing Henderson's name then. Which again, he's the new man. He's the new captain. He's possibly the better captain. So.
And then it went straight on to Trent about the Scouser in our team straight away. Yeah. So it's if to say, you don't acknowledge us, lad, we'll just move on to someone else, innit? It's how it is.
The way it is. Like, don't get me wrong, football moves on and he's at Villa now, but at the end of the day, acknowledge the fans you've played for and I've loved and they've loved you. Do you know what I mean? Clap the Villa fans first and foremost. But again, it's the same. It's the same. I'm sure Gerrard made a comment about Man United fans singing about Scousers when Rooney played for them. And now it's the same. You know, they're singing about Scousers.
You look at when Brighton come round as well. Brighton come back and Lallana done a whole lap around Anfield, applauded every single fan, do you know what I mean? And it only takes one little... He didn't even have to do that. He could have just walked to the middle of the pitch, and a little clap and walk back off, you know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone would have been happy, but he just done one little wave, and a lot of people wouldn't have even seen him do that.
I didn't see it. So I was at the game saying, who the fuck does he think he is? Blanking us. But to be fair, I didn't sing his name myself because his tactics pissed me off that much that I wanted him to just fuck off down the tunnel. He done me head in, to be honest.
No, I think there was too much sentiment going into the game. I seen a video when they were asking Liverpool, or I'm going to say Liverpool fans, what would you rather, fucking us win the league and FA Cup double, or we win the league and get beat by Villa in the FA Cup final, so Stevie gets a trophy? And people were going, we'll let Stevie have the FA Cup. I'm like, are you fucking mad? You soft bastards.
You want the double, don't you? You know what I mean?
I want to win every single fucking trophy.
I wouldn't mind him winning the FA Cup if he ever manages Liverpool, and then he can win it. You know what I mean? But when he's at another club and we're playing him in a final, you want your team to win, regardless. Exactly,
I wouldn't even want him to win a corner. I'd be fuming. I just don't get that. That is the thing. Sentiment takes over. Some people love Gerrard. Say great player, great captain. When he's playing us, I hope he wins fuck all, whether it be a quarter final, semi-final, final, or a friendly.
Even just a game, the league game as well, do you know what I mean?
Even if it's only on foot manager, I hope we fucked them. I'm not asked. I don't care who's in the dugout. And I'm sure the older generation has said the same about the likes of Shankly and Paisley and Dalglish and that. You don't want to lose to anyone.
You've only got to look at when Dalglish did come back to Anfield with Blackburn.
Won the league.
You know, they won the league, but realistically, we beat them.
We nearly cost them it, didn't we?
And if it wasn't for United being shit on the day, then United would have won the league and it would have been our fault. But we didn't care. It was just, we want to go. You're Liverpool, you go into every game wanting to win, regardless of who's in the other dugout, like you say. So we got the win.
Sentiment can't come into it when they're the manager of a opposition team. Do you know what I mean? It goes out the window, and it's a game of football, and you want to win at the end of the day.
You can want them to do well in every other game, except when you play Liverpool. That's fine. Yeah. If Liverpool aren't involved in the game, I've never liked Villa, so just because Gerrard's there, I'm not going to like Villa. I hope they don't go down for his sake, because it'll affect him potentially getting a Liverpool job. I think Jay's changed his mind on him ever getting a Liverpool job. Like, don't know about yourself, Craig.
I'm not going to be that stupid and naive, but say he's got to build his own team in that. But I just think even if you were playing with fucking Tranmere or Stoke, you wouldn't come and play that way. You'd have a little go. You'd have a plan to which was on the counter or whatever. There was no plan. It was literally frustrate the crowd and see what happens. There was no pressing. There was no attack. I think I don't think they had a shot till like the 80th minute. It was absolutely chronic to watch, lads. And
well, they had that little mess up, didn't they? The moment where Alisson, they say, fouled Danny Ings, but I think he does actually get a bit of a touch on the ball.
Ball, lad, yeah. He slowed it down on a number of angles. He gets the ball, and I'm sure he was offside anyway.
If you see before that he's running
last night, that doesn't always matter.
If you see when Danny Ings is actually running, though, he shoves Matip past him. So if you wanted to be funny about it, you'd say that's a free kick before the even penalty come into it, because you see Matip on the floor or something, end up on the floor, doesn't he? But
that's it. If they give the penalty, VAR would have looked at that. I would imagine.
I hoped he would have, but it's VAR we're talking about now, innit? You don't know what they do. But come back to Gerrard, I think he will get that. It will be a time he becomes a Liverpool manager, but people are saying it's going to be after Klopp's reign and stuff when he finishes. But in my eyes, he needs to do something drastically, improve himself. He can't just say I've won the cup with the league with Rangers and then get the job after Klopp's gone. He needs to do something more than that, and definitely he needs to do it on achievements and not merit, really, on what he's done for the club.
That's what I said to Neil last time, because I think Neil said point blank, he's his absolute hero when he idolises him and he wants him the manager.
No, so do I. He was my hero growing up. I had 8 on my shirt on everything, but you still got to look at the actually realistically. You can't bring a manager in who's not proven himself.
And you see it with Chelsea. Chelsea last time, and that fucking hell, they booed him at the end of it. They booed him.
Same with United and Ollie.
Like that. You just don't want it to go like that. And you just hope sentiment goes out the window. If he comes in, if he gets top 6 with Villa or something like that, then again, if that was another manager of Villa and it wasn't Gerrard and they've got top 6 and they're replacing Klopp, are you happy? Are you fucked?
You wouldn't be going for the Villa manager if it was Dean Smith and he got to 6th.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And Klopp was going, you wouldn't be going, we're looking at Dean Smith. You're still going to be looking for top young European managers. You look at the likes of the Ajax manager, who's a good manager, and you look at the Leipzig one who went to Bayern. Young managers who look like they're going to be good future prospects. Yeah, Gerrard falls into that category, but he needs to play in European football with a team as well, because Rangers didn't get very, can't say he played Champions League with them properly, and he needs to get a team if he's going to prove himself to be a Champions League managing team as well, because that's what Liverpool are. He's going to have to prove it in the Champions League with a team as well, that he can do it in Europe, not just in Scotland and in England.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's just a case as well. You don't know what his ability is like. I think we'll have people. I think there'll be someone working alongside him and speaking to him as the time draws closer to him getting in, and they'll be giving feedback saying his level of knowledge is well more advanced than what he should be at a Villa. Do you know what I mean? So they might take a risk on him, but say for now, don't even want to think about Klopp going.
No,
just don't. And I think Gerrard, the best thing for Gerrard, as I say, go to a bigger club than Villa before he goes anywhere near us and see what he's like in the Champions League and that. But that time will come one day, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I think it's.
Have you heard the talks about Everton? No, it's off Liverpool now, but Solskjaer's in talk at the minute about replacing them.
Imagine me.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
It'd be hilarious, wouldn't it?
Be great.
The other day, I'm in a group chat with my cousins. They listen to the pod. Hi lads, how are we? They had a little listen to the Everton pods, and fucking hell, they agreed with most of the stuff and that. But against Arsenal, they're like, fucking hell, it's not the manager's fault. You can say, don't sack the manager. And then the other day, they're like, fucking Benitez out, he's got to go. That's a go.
I think it was one of them where they beat Arsenal and thought, yeah, we're back now. We're starting to, we're going to find form now. We beat Arsenal, we're going to run, and then they just actually reality sets in again when they come up against a bang average team, done it? And
I was saying last night, obviously they've got Chelsea tonight, and my sister goes, "Oh, well, there's an easy 3 points for Chelsea," And I go, nah, you know, because it'd be the most Everton thing ever to beat Chelsea and then lose the next 6 games on the spin.
And help us.
Yeah.
I hope Everton win tonight. I fucking do.
Yeah,
so do I.
They'll be more fuming than fucking us.
Yeah.
So
I've watched games with Everton before. My mate who lives in Dubai, he's coming home for Christmas and that. When they were playing United, when we were going for the league, I think it was 3-2 to United, and Everton equalised, and he was fucking wounded.
Yeah,
and then
he helped us,
scored, and he jumped up, and I was like, "This is he's a big, massive blue." But he started taking up golf now because he's had enough.
My half fella's a blue in that, but obviously he's not one of them. Like, he'll actually will say it how it is, and that he's not one of these fans that has got something. He'll just say the truth, and that if they're playing shit, and that he'll say it. And like at the minute when it would come to Derby Day, he said, "I can't see anything other than us getting hammered." And obviously he's quite a realist when it comes to that, but he's still a blue at the end of the day, so it was nice rubbing it in, regardless if he thought it or not.
Did he boo the telly in that?
I think he just fell asleep, probably something like that. Didn't he get to the end of it? Or he just fell asleep.
It's fucking It's always fun to laugh at Everton, so we'll always fucking get a dig in there.
I think their protest was the most Everton thing as well, weren't it?
All 27 of them.
All 27 left on the 27 minutes. It's just mad.
He lasted 7 minutes longer than the Derby though, which is fucking incredible.
I know. It's mad, isn't it?
And they weren't even getting off on the mast. They were going down for a pint and coming back. The shop, come back.
They're just fucking mad. I hate them. Fucking, I've got nothing else to say. I just hate them. Fuck them. I hope they go down. It'd be a laugh. So obviously tonight we've got Newcastle. Should be fairly straightforward, realistically. But I've said it now, haven't I? So fucking I've jinxed us. But no, it should be fairly straightforward. They're not doing anything really at the minute. You know, Eddie Howe's come in. He hasn't really changed much. They got the first win, but nothing's really changed with them. The players, they've got a few half decent players, but no one that's going to cause us any problems. Maybe barring St. Maximin. You're expecting a fairly comfortable game, Jay?
Yeah. If it's not 3 or 4, it'll have to shite. Yeah. Absolutely shite. And when you were saying about the money earlier, I don't think the money matters with teams like that. They're going to end up going down. And once you're in that championship, I don't think it matters how much dough you've got. I don't think you're going to claw back up to the like levels of City and Chelsea and that, where you can just buy whoever.
Look, QPR. QPR had major though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Went down and they're still down there now.
I think
they'll go out. The lower league, the lower teams, even in the Premier League, like the likes of Everton and that, got to sell postage stamps as TJ users to buy players and that. It's our last because they are looking in, high and over everything that's happening from like the bottom to below the top 6, and it's fucking hard. But I don't think Newcastle have got a chance in hell. Doesn't matter who owns them.
I think with financial fair play though, it's like you look at it and you know people say they don't clamp down on City and it's because City can go and sell a bit per player for 60 mil. And then they can go and spend as much as they want them because they've complied with financial fair play and losses and stuff like that. Everton have spent 500 million in 5 seasons and sold fucking about 6 people for 20 quid. So that's why they can't spend no dough.
When you say that about that though, Man City, Guardiola come out and said we've sold 2 academy players and fought back like 80 mil. On Sky Sports News, it was 14.
Yeah.
Not about Jack Grealish, so he's only cost us 40 mil because we've made 60. They hadn't. It's all rigged to fuck. But they've obviously got someone magnificent doing the accounts who can rig it all. Fair play. It is what it is.
You see that table it done and it said like the teams that can spend so much and all that. And I think if we wanted to, we can spend 243 million without breaching financial fair play. I think City are at like 100 million, but if you go down and it's Everton, they're at like minus, I think it's 15 million or something. So they've got to like sell the likes of Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, their best players, to even try and fund anything to sell it, because they can't exactly sell a £20 million player and buy a £100 million player because They've only got 5 million to play with, haven't they? It's crazy.
That's Usman off to just fucking build a 5-a-side team in his back garden.
He's got more dough than that Abramovich and that Usmanov, who's their part owner or something, isn't he? Or his business partner.
They say he's got nothing to do with them, like, but he has, like,
he's a silent business man, and he's obviously
he donated like 300 grand to the Tory party, didn't he?
Yeah.
That, and his ex-wife did as well.
He's named the ground named after him, and the new ground's named after him. So that's how he's got his 300 million into the club to them, because he's given them a name and rights deal, hasn't he?
Well, isn't USM? Isn't that Usmanov?
Yeah, so he's that's what I mean. He's got a deals right, so he's obviously paid him. I think it's 300 million over the contract to keep that stand called the USM Stadium or whatever it is. So he's got his money in there some ways, but he's got to do it sort of legitimately, and to them to try and fund something.
They're going to have to change the song, aren't they? So come on, head down to USM Stadium. Our last. They're only fucking bits.
I mean, it's our last on them anyway. The song is a fucking TV show, so...
do you know, say what he's saying there about FIFA Fair Play, they are fucked. And my dad goes on about Arsenal with their stadium. Arsene Wenger built a fucking dynasty there. And it all went to pot when they got that stadium. They had to release players, had no money coming in, couldn't spend much. They're fucked. Everton fucked. Everton.
I can tell you're devastated about that there, Jay.
Back onto Newcastle then, anyway.
I know. No, what I was going to say, I think with Newcastle, they'll go out and they'll buy sort of decent Premier League players. They'll go out and get, a James Tarkowski, and I've seen rumours that in for Dele Alli. Just players who'll improve them in the short term, kind of thing, and they'll keep them. I reckon they'll survive. They'll keep themselves up. Next season, they'll go and buy slightly better players, and I think they'll do it gradually. They'll carry on buying better and better players, and eventually they might finish top half.
I've heard as well, though, that the Premier League clubs have all, apart from obviously Newcastle, have come together and said we're not selling any of our players to Newcastle just because of apparently there's been uproar, haven't they, over them buying it. I don't know how true that is, but if they do sell them to them, they've got to think they might buy James Tarkowski, so they're going to have to pay over the odds for players who aren't worth that sort of money, because everyone knows now they're the richest club in world football. So it'd be stupid to say, go on, you can have, it's like if Nat Phillips, you want to go, I'd boost him up. If you want him, he's 40 million, do you know what I mean? If you don't want him, then...
Carol money back, you twat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're gonna have to overspend for players who aren't worth that sort of money in that. And I'm not arsed, me. Let them do it, innit? They want to.
I think they're going to struggle to stay up. I really do.
I do myself, yeah.
I don't think, looking at them, the position they're in at the moment, if they were 10th, 8th, you'd looking to head towards Europe, and that you'd give them a chance, you give them the benefit of the doubt and go, right, I'll come in and improve them, get to there. No one wants to be jumping ship mid-season to try and help someone stay up. It just doesn't work that way. I don't think that...
It's all money now, lad. If they go and bid 35 million for James Tarkowski, who's worth 12, then Burnley are going to bite their hand off, and then they'll go, right, James, you're on 60 grand a week at Burnley, we'll give you 150 grand a week here. He's going to bite their hand off.
But he's not going to keep them up, though, is he? Even him couldn't stop the route that's going to happen every game against him, really. But
he might not. But if you've got someone willing to pay you more than double what you pay, it's like you, Jay. You're an electrician. If you get another firm coming in to you who've got a shit reputation, but they go, "We'll double what you're getting paid now," you're going to go, "Yeah, go ahead." Same with me.
Jay wouldn't though.
But you could struggle in the other side of it, because that St. Maximin could attract any club in Europe now. I'd have him in the team. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a brilliant player, and it only takes someone to come in for him in January, because Newcastle aren't safe at the minute to stay in the league. Do you know what I mean? They're still in the relegation battle. If he was to go, then they're starting to lose players before they can actually bring in better players. And there's nothing saying just because they've become the richest club in football that he's going to want to stay there for more money. He's going to want to play in the best teams, in the best competitions, the Champions League, even Europa League. He's going to want to play in Europe. Them talents who are at Newcastle not going to want to wait around 5 years to do it. Well, I can't see them doing that anyway.
That's on Newcastle to persuade them that they can do it then, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you look at City when they first got the money. I don't think anyone would have said when they lost 8-1 against fucking Middlesbrough that the next season, right, we're going to fucking do boss here. We're going to get Robinho in. We're going to get fucking, we're going to get players. They done it. It's the same way City done it at first. brought Shea Given in, brought Craig Bellamy in, Benjani. They were buying decent Premier League players.
Buying very good players, and then the likes of Rubino, who was like a superstar, they're bringing him in. Newcastle aren't going to be able to do that. I don't think they're going to be able to.
Not yet.
They had a bit of a better manager as well, though, in Mark Hughes at the time, didn't he? He was a bit of a more of a well-known manager. If you say Eddie Howe isn't going to attract top players, he's already looking at 3 players from Bournemouth, I think, or something like that. So he's already looking at the lower leagues to try and help him in the Premier League, whereas you need to be looking further afield if you're going to be signed to stay survival.
I've seen they're looking at Dele Alli, apparently, we're on loan with the option to buy if they stay up, which... that's probably a decent deal, to be fair, if they can pull that one off.
But he's Dele Alli's shit. He's gone to shit. Not do you know what I mean?
He's going to improve Newcastle, though. That's the thing.
If there was anyone, I'd look at I'd go for Lingard from United for them, because he proved when he went to West Ham how much of an asset he could actually be when he's given game time. Do you know what I mean? I don't like United. I don't like him anyway because he's a United player. But the logical side would be going for someone like that. Whereas Dele Alli has been given a chance.
Marshall going to be available in January.
Yeah. Dele Alli's
Phillips, who are going to improve your actual 11.
Dele Alli's just shite.
Dele Alli's a fucking crap.
He's been given a chance under every manager, and I think he done well under Pochettino for a bit. But after that, he's just done shite, and I can't see him ever coming back to this form that he ever was. He's just.
I don't know. He's still only 25, to be fair. Like so.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
They bought him when he was 18, lad. So he's just been around forever.
They might prove me wrong then.
For Arsenal, it's about 50.
Wow.
Mad, but no, like you say, it should be fairly straightforward for us. We played the way we play. We should blow them out the park.
I say 5-1 myself. Like.
Today, mate.
I know. I'm confident. I reckon 4 or 5-1 easily.
If we lose, we're never doing a podcast again.
John Joe Shelby, red card. Was he still banned from his last one? And yeah, I'll definitely put him 3 past them. Someone scoring an hat-trick today. Smell.
I'm going to say 6-0. I'm
all confident then.
Yeah, I am. We've beat better Newcastle teams by that score in the past. We have fun normally playing against
Newcastle. It depends what Liverpool turn up. Like against Villa, I don't think we played bad. We got through a number of times. We just didn't have our shooting boots on. And I think one of them games where the ball doesn't bounce at the right time for you and all shit like that. It's a lack of luck. But we turn up today, shooting boots on. Yeah. You're pissing it.
But you can't play.
Go on, Jay.
Just going to say, you can't play United and every week. You know what I mean? So.
I was going to say as well, we need to score goals, because if you look at City, what they done 7-0 the other day, the goal difference has suddenly swayed. I think in City's favour. So, and they're ahead on points. So we need to get them the goals to go ahead on a goal difference as well, because at the end of the season it could come down to goal difference.
Yeah, definitely.
We just need. I think we take the foot off the pedal a little bit, don't we?
Yeah, we get to 4-0 and we start slowing down when you should be.
Yeah.
When their confidence is down, being 4-0, whack another 4 past them.
That's it. City never take the foot off the pedal, do the unfairness to them. Like,
they haven't even got an out-and-out striker.
No.
It's just mad.
They're horrible, aren't they? I hate them. I hate everyone. Fuck the rest of the league. No, should be straightforward. And then obviously we've got Spurs at the weekend if that goes ahead. Obviously we were talking a bit about this sort of before we started recording, and sort of everything isn't looking the greatest at the minute with this fucking Omicron shite. I was saying, like, France have already saying that they're not allowing people from the UK into the country. We were talking about the African Cup of Nations, saying, will that go ahead? And it's a bit of from a Liverpool standpoint, you don't want it to go ahead. But Jay, you said, from a sort of rest of the world standpoint, if that gets cancelled, then that's easy then for them to then go, right, this is cancelled and that's cancelled, and it's you don't want anything to start the ball rolling in that way again. We can't go through that again, I don't think.
Especially something that big, lad. That's obviously that's their equivalent to the Euros and the World Cup and stuff like that. So you've got to try and let it go. Even if it's, I don't want anything to be behind closed doors again. I don't think the country could hack it. I don't think our country could hack being behind closed doors. We need the match. If people don't want to get jabbed, they don't get jabbed. If they're at risk, and so be it, that's what they want to do. They're willing to do that. If we're double jabbed, it should be our choice whether we go to a gig or an event or a football match It should be our choice. We should say, like, yeah, there's a fucking another variant about, but with double jabs, getting told how fantastic it is, how good the booster is. So let us in the fucking ground and carry on letting us, because otherwise it's just going to go to pot again. But yeah, I hope the AFCON, I hope it goes on. I do. As Craig said earlier, we're going to lose Salah, Mane, and half a Keita. That's about it. And don't get me wrong, Salah and Mane are absolutely outstanding. But the form of Iggy's in, form Jota's in, you've got Minamino, Oxlade's in great form. We've got enough. We've got enough
Firmino,
to get on.
You missed out Firmino as well.
Well, yeah.
Firmino as well.
Oh, yeah. We've got enough. We've got enough to crack on.
And you got that we said as well, didn't we? We've got Jones to come back as well to fill in for Keita if it does go ahead and stuff. And I agree with you. I think if it goes ahead, it sets up the season to carry on going ahead, because there's already talks with teams losing players through COVID and that I've seen void the season already and so on some things and that. But
Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager, said this weekend's game should be cancelled to stop it and that. But then we're already in the fucking busiest part of the season. Where does the game then get put in?
To be fair, Potter from Brighton asked for his game to get postponed of the day, and I think he's got one case of COVID and an injury and a suspension, and he was asking for it off. So it's just a loophole for managers to try and getting games off when you're out of form and that. So just at the end of the day, I get it if all your staff have got it and you can't perform, but
like Spurs were in 13 staff and players they had with COVID, which is acceptable, and you go, all right, postpone the match. I put it down like when we played the World Club Cup though. We had to play our kids against Aston Villa in another cup, so why can't they do that? Have you seen what they've done to Chelsea as well? Chelsea have complained about the when they play in the Club World Cup that it's going to clash with games and that, so they've jangled the games down. So it, you know what I mean. But when it does, go play the kids.
It's a joke, mate. Honestly, but we get fuck all off the league. We know that. We've known that for years, haven't we? But
yeah, that's why we love it. You know what I mean? Because when we do win it, we just love it.
Even better.
Yeah.
But I think that all the COVID stuff at the grounds, and it's going to cause controversy, because Klopp's come out and said he doesn't see why people won't get jabbed and won't get boosted and that. But he understands their arguments. What's the fucking point if they're going to lock us all down again? What is the point in getting jabbed and putting stuff in your body? I'm double jabbed, so I've done what I can to protect myself from the virus. If you, for instance, Jay, you don't want to get double jabbed, that's on you. If something happens to you, if I catch it and give it to you, it's fucking still on you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you've chose to be more susceptible to getting it. So let us all do what we were doing before it.
I'm double jabbed myself as well, and it was like, and now to say it was when we got the double jabs, it was like, get these two and you'll be protected from it all, or obviously majority of it. And then now that was pointless having them jabs. You need this booster because they do nothing to this thing, and it's like, well, what's the point in getting them in the first place then? You know what I mean? It's like they're contradicting themselves and saying stuff. And if he would have brought stuff in like that 3 weeks ago, he just brought them in on the day after he found out they all had a party and bloody.
That's exactly what they're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, so
every time they get caught out with something they've done fucking wrong, whether it's him cheating on his wife, him decorating his house with the taxpayers' money, them having a fucking party while people are watching the fucking families die through windows.
Yeah.
They come out with something else to fucking deflect away from the truth. The horrible Tory bastards, and I can't believe no one's caused a fucking fuss. No, it's just we've all just sat back and let it happen. It's fucking mental.
It is. It's fucking mental, as you say, but there's enough fucking stupid dickheads in the country that'll still vote them into power. So it's a shambles. The whole thing's been a shambles from the word go.
I was at the Villa game and obviously the chant start comes around, fuck the Tories and that. So where I was sat, I was the only one who started singing it, and there was a fella like shaking his head in front of me now. So I started going louder and louder because that's just my view on it. So then I started singing Maggie's in the Mud. Do you know what I mean? I hate the Tories, me, and anything to do with them. So for me, I just don't see why anyone puts them in power, because they're just all for themselves and not for anyone else.
Baffling, isn't it?
But on the way to Milan, I got talking to this fucking Tory bird, and I said to her, like, she was going, like, guess what I do as a job? I said, you don't put the studs on the floor, do you? So the homeless can't sleep there. And she was like, no. I said, well, that's what you're like. That's the mind that he's out. You're fucking horrible. And she's like, no, we're not. I said, well, why would you vote for people to go starving? Why would you vote for there to be food banks? Why would you vote for people to go cold in the winter? I said, because that's what you're voting for. Without even you're voting based on Brexit, based on them blagging you less foreigners are going to get in the country, based on blagging you that the NHS is going to stay. You're being lied to, and to save face, you just still vote them because you don't want to admit you were fucking wrong in the first place. And it's not a fucking word to say, but that's effectively what it is. If you vote Tory, you're voting against everything in humanity, anything humane. You're voting against everything that's normal. Jeremy Corbyn, when he was fighting, I know it's not a political fucking podcast, but here we go, you've kicked me off. But when he was going on about living a better life and leading a better life and having less days in work and more money and everyone having access to food and internet and stuff, we were told it was like a dream world, it was a fairy tale. That's the majority of the rest of the world live like that. And we got told it was a fucking pipe dream. It's mad, mate. The media have brainwashed people into thinking that a better way of life is fucking stupid. And it's just the upper class that are getting that better way of life. And all us fucking who work our asses off every day are getting left to fucking rot, pay more taxes. And as you know, we're rallying around now trying to help food banks because people haven't got money for Christmas dinners and that. So the country, our city in particular, it's fucked, and it's all because of them Tory bastards.
Yeah, and what you're saying that if anyone does want to help out at all, head over to Jay's Twitter page at Scouse Republic, and you can get involved. I think you've got one with Jamie Webster tickets at the minute, haven't you?
I can't give them away. Fucking hell. Something's got to give. Fucking hell, give us some dough for them tickets.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's literally £3 a ticket for 30. There's 30 numbers available. So we want to make 90 quid for the 2 tickets. Someone's gifted them to us because they can't go. 2 tickets for Jamie Webster tomorrow. The food bank will get 90 quid. Go towards our collection. We've got a Liverpool bundle, which has got tour tickets. It's got signed photo by John Barnes in a frame. Signed by Jan Molby in a frame. Signed Alan Kennedy. Merchandise, prints, clobber, cups. It's got fucking all sorts. There's loads there. They're a £5 a ticket or 3 for 10. We're doing that draw tonight. And then we've got a boozy one. 100 quid worth of booze, port, fucking whiskey, vodka, Malibu, Prosecco, and 50 quid cash. 3 tubs of sweets. That's the same. £5 a go, 3 for a tenner.
And you can't have a go with that one, lad.
Can't like Del Boy.
No, but like you say, it's all for a great cause. So
yeah, if
anyone does want to get involved, I'd say head over to Jay's Twitter or Instagram. It should be, I imagine it's on both of their that's Scouse Republic, so you can get involved and DM him.
Nice one.
So one more time, final predictions for the Newcastle score.
5-1.
4-0.
I'm sticking with 6-0.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see your betting slip, Jay.
Sound, I'll do it in a bit. Go on. Right, lads, it's been a pleasure.
4-0. Minamino to score any time.
That's a brave bet. I want to see your betting slip for that.
I think 5-1 with a Salah hat-trick.
I fancy a hat-trick somewhere. It's like the time I've done the bet. Liverpool to win 2-0, Minamino a hat-trick. Fucking loser.
Telly couldn't count because he thought there was 4 of us on this, even though one said no.
I know, yeah.
I'm still waiting for Neil. Just got Neil pending in my corner.
Right, lad, look, it's been an absolute pleasure again. So we'll be back. It's probably going to be after the Spurs game now. So a few days to listen to this and find out how much fun we are. But yeah, nice one for joining us, boys, and up the Reds.
Subscribe to the YouTube as well. Is right.